This is Nick Rainey with the hand of the day. I'm going to review a hand from a final table I played on Sunday. It was the $50 one rebuy, one add-on. What that means is you can rebuy anytime in the first hour. And if you make it to the break, you can add on as well. But it's not an unlimited rebuy. It's just allowed one. Sometimes I hear people refer to it as the cubed, the $50 cubed. With the F-tops going on, there's tons of people playing online, so there's huge prize pools. Look at the payouts real quick. This $50 tournament, it's basically $150 rebuy if you do the rebuy and add-on. First place was 22,000. There's 4 left, so I'm guaranteed 7,800 at this point. But I'm definitely going for that 22,000. I don't know Caitlin's dad or Furman P1, but I do know Jay Cotta. A couple weeks ago, we got into a huge pot in a $150 rebuy on Full Tilt, deep down to the last 2 tables, and so he's probably gonna remember me. Maybe not, but I know that he's really aggressive. He's a great tournament player. Has had a ton of big wins, and he's at the final table of the main event. So he's a player, and he's not gonna be scared about getting knocked out in this tournament. He's playing to win it, and the other 2 guys, I don't really know anything about them. They haven't shown me that they're terrified or they're trying to just scoot up. They haven't shown me anything great, so they're just standard players. I'm just obviously trying to avoid getting into a big pot with Jay Cotta because I don't want to get knocked out in 4th place. So in this hand, Jay Cotta raises under the gun and the button folds. So here I am with my 2 6s, and obviously we have 3 options. We can raise, we can call, and we can fold. We can't fold a pair like this because it's a great chance to maybe hit a set and win a huge pot against Jay Cotta. So leaves us with calling or raising. If I raise it, normally if I were to raise in this spot, I would raise this about 70,000, 75,000. Well, if I do that, he's going to call me 100% and be able to play this hand in position. There's no question that Jay Cotta is a better player than me, far more experienced, and you cannot play hands out of position against very good players profitably. It's very hard to do. So raising it and building a bigger pot out of position is just not a smart play either. Calling and trying to flop a set, that's really all I can do at this point. So I call, and Furman calls as well. And Furman can really have anything there. I could hardly believe it when I saw that 6. I was so excited. And if you remember my recent blog where I talked about donk betting, this is really a great hand history because I was talking to my student, Michael Kaplan. He has a bad habit of donk betting for no reason, just because he has nothing and maybe he can take the pot down. But, there's a couple of people and the odds are someone hits something. So he usually just loses chips every time he does it. Well, if I donk bet here, none of these guys and none of the thousands of railbirds who are watching this live at the time are going to put me on a set. Because if you ask yourself, what would you do in this situation? I'm sure you'd say to yourself, check, and then raise. But if I lead out, they're most likely going to put me on 7-8, Jack 10, maybe 9-8, 10-9, Queen 10. No one's put me on a set if I bet it out. So that's what I do. Just a little $25,000 bet. Looks like a stab. Looks like I'm just trying to It's not very convincing, but it looks like I'm just trying to, steal it or just see hope laid up nothing, and I can take it down. So Furman raised it up, and at this point I was really loving it. Because most likely Jay Cotta folds, I can re-raise, try and put him all in. Hopefully he has like a queen 10 or queen jack. He's basically drawing dead. But, lo and behold, Jay Cotta ships it in for $1 million. A cool $1 million. Now at this point I could barely believe it. It was almost too good to be true. I guess he could be tricky enough where he could do this with top set. I doubt. I don't think he'd be doing this with top set. Or a set of nines. So at this point, I was playing like 12 tables, and I'm not used to not having full shortcuts to click the time button for me. So I was so paranoid I'd time out. I hit the time. I was trying to get all my other tables, act on my other tables, and get everything ready. And I called, and I was really probably expecting to see king's races. I knew that maybe you could have jack 10, but I didn't think he would put that all in with jack 10. But sure enough, he did. So I have a set, and he has jack high. Now he has 8 outs. If I hit my full house on the turn, he's drawing dead, and I win, a 2.1 million chip pot. Both my opponents are under 500,000. I'm a huge favorite to, most likely finish in the top 2. So here we are on the flop. He's at the opener. Let's look at the odds. Make sure you have Poker Stove on your computer. Download it. It's great for running these kind of things, these little situations. So at this point, you can see I'm a 26% favorite. So he's still going to win this hand 1 out of 4 times. 3 times I'm going to be happy, 1 time I'm not going to be happy. So it's not like I have him drawing dead. He's got outs. Thankfully, the turn is the 4 of spades. So if we add the 4 of spades, at this point now, with 1 card to come, I'm an 82%, 18%, 82-18 favorite. So now we're really liking our hand. Unfortunately, the 8 came on the river. I was bamboozled and got knocked out in 4th place for a cool $7,800. Let's go back to the flop and talk a little bit more about this donk bet. Let's look at this. Let's look at it. What would have happened if I checked? Because I guarantee if you really were honest with yourself and you said, okay, here I am, my flop says, what would I do? I'm going to check it. That's what most people would say. And that's why it's really important to think about what you're doing, why you're doing it, what do your opponents think you're doing. And you'd be amazed at how many times it's just so obvious what you're doing, because that's what everyone does. So I like to mix it up. I mean, by betting here, no one would bet a set here. So I can really hide the strength of my hand. And I was able to get Jay Cotta to put 1 million in with jack high. If I check here, okay, let's imagine I check. Furman, it seems like would probably bet. He raised me when I bet. So, let's assume he bets. Jay Cotta will raise it. But he won't go all in because he'll be the first raiser. So if Furman makes it 60,000, Jay Cotta make it like 300,000, and I shove all in, he'll fold and he'll fold. Now I'll win a nice pot. I'll have a nice chip lead, but I wasn't able to get him to put all his money in as a 25%, with 25% equity. So by playing the hand the way I did, I was able to, to get him to put the most chips in. If I check, Furman checks, Jay Cotta bets, I raise, I don't know if he would re-raise there or not. It'd be interesting. But I like the way I played it. in the future when I play with Jay Cotta, he's going to know that if I lead out, I can have the nuts. I mean, I can obviously have nothing too, but it's going to have to make him be on his toes and know that I'm capable of just betting out the nuts when most people would check it. But that was the hand of the day, and hopefully tomorrow's hand of the day is a little more, a better result at the end. But it was a good hand to really make you focus about those bets when you flop a big hand on the flop, and when to lead out and get your opponents to give you their chips.